Hello YouTube, welcome back to another Yassi lap guide. My name is Sir Foch and today we are taking the Ferrari 296 around Circuit Paul Ricard. Unfortunately nicknamed the parking lot, comes with a lot of bad rep, but my opinion one of the most underestimated circuits in ACC, on top of providing probably some of the best racing in GT3 in the sim. It also is very tricky, very difficult, very hard to extract the most out of any car here, really. It's also one of the circuits that has changed drastically in 1.9. Previously, a line like that would send you to space, but now the curves are way more forgiving, especially in the compared to the 488, the predecessor to the 296. This car is relatively easy to drive here compared to the 488, very safe, and the curves are definitely nowhere near as big as an issue as they were in the 488. And bumps like the one here on the outside also don't really affect the car too much. It still has some quirks, but they're nowhere near as bad as they were in the 488. So overall, pretty good package, really good top speed, lacks a lot in acceleration as per usual, makes up for it a little bit by the end of the straight, but there has been also a little nerf not too long ago that dialed that speed down a little bit, but still the car is quite competitive here, and with the low fuel consumption the race pace is pretty good. That being said, let's look at the braking references for this circuit. Let's go to a little bit higher brake bias. So for turn 1 we're looking for that side road. After the 100-meter board we're braking just before the curb ends, going as close to the apex as we can. A little left here to like 70% over the curb on the right, and then we go for the exit. Here we're looking for the 100-meter line and braking maybe half a car length after that. You want to clip that apex a bit more, can downshift to first, but just lifting there. Good exit here is key, so hitting the apex is definitely recommended. You can go over this curve quite a lot, no need to brake there, just a lift. And here with 0 TC it's the most optimal way to take it, but if you cut a lot then you can also avoid the bump that triggers the TC, but generally the best pace you're gonna get with 0 TC there, but that runs the risk if you forget to change it, you might just have an unfortunate spin later down the lap. And now for the fastest corner of the track, we're braking just before the curb, downshifting to 5th. Can run the whole curb, gotta be careful not to cut it and get on power once the car is ready. This is a really tricky one, the braking reference is just really experience, there isn't really anything to use for that corner. For this one, we're lining up on the right, braking around the second cone mark, trying to bring the front back in. This lap has been disastrous, to be fair, but you'll probably see what I'm talking about on the hot lap. Here we're braking half a car length or so after the curb ends, trying to trail to get the front end to turn. And here we're braking just between the little tiny white lines you can see on the left, braking between the first and the second one, and that is the lap of Paul Ricard. Pretty messy, but you'll see a bit of a cleaner example on the hot lap. So here is our setup, quite unconventional, let's say, for 1.9. Still a work in progress as is everything in 1.9. Running quite a lot less front toe than we're used to seeing, just to be a bit more stable over curbs, not to have big oversteer moments when we're riding the turn 2 curve, for instance. Also not a lot of rear toe, just to keep the car nice and stable. Cycling between 7 and 4 TC for the most part. ABS 2 and map 3 is just a personal preference, it doesn't really matter much. Same as the brake pads. Mechanical wise, we are running full front roll bar to give us that high speed stability together with some front springs. Not too much front bump stop range, quite a lot on the rear, just to keep the car stable. Also full preload once again to keep the car from over rotating when driving on curbs and such. And on top of that, the damper is pretty stiff on the front, pretty soft on the rear. And as for the aero, we are running tiny little bit of rake. 5 wing seems to be quite the sweet spot for this car for these kind of tracks. Same with some like Spa and Mount Panorama. So that is the setup. Probably still some ways to improve it, but for now that is gonna be it. I'm gonna leave you with a hot lap. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.